What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel for another mock draft, our sixth mock draft of the 2023 Steelers draft season. In this one, we have another trade scenario, only this time, it's a trade up scenario. Last week, we did a trade back scenario where we gained an extra second round pick, trading back from pick 32. This time, we are trading up. Now, there have been rumors circulating the past week about how the Steelers could trade up in the draft, more so with the Bears. We already know that past relationship with trades. We traded Chase Claypool to the Bears for the 32nd overall pick. Now, to trade up with the Bears, the Steelers obviously want to solidify their guy. They are trading up to get their guy. Who that could be, what position, we truly don't know. But if I had to put it to two positions, if I had to mark it down to two positions, it would definitely be cornerback or tackle, without a doubt. But more so the Bears, because they need a tackle. They need a left tackle. And in fear of losing one of the top three guys, the Bears could select one of them with the 9th pick. Steelers are going to want to trade up to acquire one of those top tackles. Now, they could trade in front of the Bears, but with the past relationship, they might trade with the Bears again. Now, in order to do so, they're not only going to have to trade their 17th overall pick, they're going to have to trade their 32nd pick as well. So in this mock, we have the Steelers trading picks 17 and 32 to the Chicago Bears. They get their second rounder back for picks 9 and 148, which is a 5th round pick. That kind of makes up for the lack of picks between the 4th and the 7th round that the Steelers have. So we trade up 8 spots to get into the top 10 and gain an extra 5th round pick out of it while sacrificing our 1st rounder and the 2nd rounder we got for the Bears.
But when it comes to the Chicago Bears, they have the 9th pick, but the next pick they got is pick 53. That's a big gap right there.
It is.
So if the Bears are going to want to trade the 9th pick, they're going to want a 1st rounder in return and probably another 2nd in the middle of between a 1st rounder and their next 2nd round pick.
And if it comes up to trading for a specific guy in the draft, I am willing to sacrifice a 32nd pick. That's essentially trading Chase Claypool to trade up into the draft. And in this case, we do that. And with the 9th pick, the Pittsburgh Steelers select Paris Johnson, tackle out of the Ohio State. This is our pipe dream. This is our guy at the end of the day. This is who we truly want at the end of the day for the Steelers. Is it going to happen? I would love to think it would. That's why we have it happening in this mock. Does it truly happen? I don't know.
We won't really find out until a trade does happen before the draft or if it happens on draft day. But with this scenario, we pick Paris Johnson with a trade with the Bears for the 9th overall pick. Paris Johnson can be the freaking franchise left tackle that Steelers are looking for.
This guy has the potential to be a 10 to 15 year starter in the NFL, an every down guy. And the crazy thing is he started his career in Ohio State as a right guard in 2021, I believe.
Before he switched to left tackle in 2022, and right there he made a name for himself.
And yeah, there's concerns he only played the tackle position for 1 year, but you could arguably also say he made himself a natural immediately because, in my opinion, he's the best tackle in this entire draft class, and that's coming from a 1-year guy at the position. Imagine once he learns under the position more at the next level.
And let me just say this. I believe the last time the Steelers took a player that had 1 year experience out of position, his name was TJ Watt.
Yeah.
Enough said.
So there are concerns with the lack of experience at certain positions, but the guys have already expressed themselves as a natural, and Paris Johnson is another example. Paris Johnson is, in my opinion, the best tackle in the draft and an immediate starter and a 10 to 15 plus year starter for this team. He is the franchise left tackle we need. He's athletic. He's dominant. There are some concerns with his strength or with his hand usage, and he's still learning that at the tackle position, but through the upcoming years, I think he'll just adapt and get better for sure.
Yeah,
but
without a doubt.
Trading up for a guy like Paris Johnson, he's one of the few guys that is worth it. He is truly worth it. There are guys at the cornerback position you could definitely trade up for as well, but getting a tackle, the Steelers are focused on improving that left tackle position, and trading up would definitely fix that immensely.
Yeah.
So Paris Johnson, if we have to trade up for him, which we would have to, if the Steelers select him, that's a home run in my book.
And then you fix your offensive line completely from left to right.
Absolutely, man. And it's just solidified for the Kenny Pickett era. Now, obviously, we don't have the 32nd pick. We gave that back to the Bears. So there is a gap between 9 and 49. We have to wait 40 picks for it. But with the 49th pick, the Steelers select Julius Brents, defensive back out of Kansas State. We took him in a mock at the same spot last week, and we just really like this guy. We love the size he brings at the position. We love his ball hawking ability. He's sticky. He's physical. Very willing tackler. He's the Tariq Woolen of this year. Not as fast, but as effective. And the Steelers shown interest in this guy. He's one of the top 30 visits they brought in. And they can wait on corner. I know there's concerns that, we do need a number one guy down the road, but it is very stacked this year at the cornerback position.
Yeah.
And they can wait, and if they do so at 49, Julius Brents would be a good pick there. I think that definitely solidify a corner for the future.
And Brents, man, with his size, his quick ability, the way he concentrates with the football, his technique as a cornerback, he's a riser. He rose his stock throughout the draft process. He continues to do that. Steelers have shown a lot of interest in a guy like him. To get him in the second round, I think is good quality. Is a good player to pick him at 49.
That's a good value pick right there.
Yeah.
Now, moving on to the third round, man, with the 80th pick. We didn't take linebacker yet, and the Steelers could wait on linebacker. They signed Cole Holcomb, Landon Roberts. They could be starters for now. I see Roberts more as that Roberts-Spillane rotational piece to stop the run. He's going to help that immensely, but you still need someone to develop under them and someone that has that coverage upside, as well as the athleticism and the sideline speed, right? There are guys that can get late or earlier, but if they want to wait, they can get a guy like Dorian Williams, linebacker out of Tulane. The Steelers have shown interest in this guy as well, but what's most impressive is he is so fluid in his coverage skills. He is so far along there. It's very impressive.
Kind of got that Mark Robinson type story, but he's so advanced already at the linebacker position.
Right, and I think sitting him under Holcomb and Roberts, not only does that bring good leadership and help his development, it would allow him time to bulk up a bit and get more of that linebacker build. He's already good enough to play linebacker. It's just to beef up a little bit and help his production in the run game. I think that would allow that to just develop him very nicely.
Right.
But his coverage upside is something that's so attractive. And him in the third round, I think that's a good value pick as well. We definitely need linebacker for the future. I think this guy could be a very nice development under Aaron Curry in his first year, see what he's got, along with the linebacker room. It's a very good linebacker room if you add this guy. He's one of the late day 2, potentially early day 3 picks I really like for depth, special teams value, but someone that could be a good backup turned starter.
Yeah.
And I don't think it would take him a lot of time because, again, he's so far along at his position. It's impressive. Mm-hmm. And, again, he brings that athleticism and the sideline speed we need at linebacker. Man, we have lacked athleticism outside of a player or two for a while. The guy brings that as well.
Now, with the 120th pick in the 4th round, we haven't gone wide receiver, and the Steelers could be looking to add more depth and a potential riser at wide receiver for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So with that, they select Jonathan Mingo, wide receiver out of Ole Miss.
Now, we did entertain Jaden Reed again like we did last week, but we went with size this time because Steelers could go for that return ability. They could go for that slot option, more so of the Steelers prototype. But one thing that we lack now because we lost Claypool is the size factor. We don't have much size at the position.
No.
We need to gain that back. Mingo brings that, as well as physicality, good hands. He is aggressive as a blocker. He loves to block. And Ole Miss, man, their resume at receiver is very solid, and he has the potential to be another one coming out of it.
Yeah.
He would be a very nice depth piece initially, but I think he could put himself in the slot pretty nicely, and himself and his size would be a mismatch. But along with his production and his attributes, I think that'd be a very nice weapon to add to Kenny Pickett's arsenal into the offense.
Yeah, without a doubt, this man just fits the mold as a Pittsburgh Steelers wide receiver to get him in there as depth and work his way up there with the likes of Calvin Austin, who are still unproven, essentially going into his first year, a rookie year for his NFL career. To get a guy in there to add depth but upside and potential is great for Kenny Pickett and great for this offense.
Yeah, so Mingo in the 4th round. I just have a sense that the Steelers are going to take wide receiver pretty early, where that is late day 2 or early day 3. It's just a sweet spot because they need depth, they need extra bodies, they need the size, they need the slot option. Mingo brings all that. Now, the 148th pick that we acquire via Chicago due to trading up. With the 148th pick via Chicago, the Steelers select Anthony Johnson Jr., defensive back out of Iowa State. We need an extra DB. We need a safety. And Anthony Johnson is someone that Steelers has shown interest in, but more so Terrell Austin. He had a private workout with him. Now, the crazy thing about him is he played corner his first couple years, and then last year transitioned to safety.
Yes.
So he immediately adapts that versatility the Steelers are looking for. Now, he's still learning the safety position entirely as a player, but I do like him pairing with Austin and Grady Brown to help develop him. And I think this would be the competition that a guy like Trey Norwood needs. I think he can get his few wet and dime packages, obviously in special teams. But this is someone who is still learning the safety position, but could develop to be an eventual starter alongside Minkah Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, he definitely has that upside. Like you say, he's a corner turn safety. He played 5 years at Iowa State. He has like 54 career starts in his college career. So he's got plenty of experience with that, as well as his versatility. So what you know, the Steelers, you know Mike Tomlin.
Yep.
They love that stuff. They love that versatility.
He can play slot. He can play in the box. He can play deep. He has it all. He has what the Steelers are looking for in terms of versatility and just story and development, man. They're looking for fresh guys. They're looking for not exactly projects, but guys that are still learning to develop into homegrown guys.
Now, trade alert. Yes, we had another trade to this mock draft.
Now, they did get a fifth-round pick via the Chicago trade that we have at the beginning of the mock, but they're still also looking for an additional picks, man. They're also looking for additional depth and potential guys to step in and fill holes. And we've been saying it the last couple mocks, the last couple weeks, and we apologize if it's getting tiring. We just think that this guy is so expandable and has some trade value due to his throwing experience the last couple years. It's hard to think that he doesn't get traded. Honestly, if he doesn't, it's just the Steelers are clearly holding on to him for depth.
And
purposes.
honestly, I feel like it's a waste of an opportunity because this man's coming into his last year of his rookie contract. He has plenty of starting experience in the NFL.
But he has no role on this team no more outside of depth.
And you know there's a team out there that's going to at least give him one more shot as a starter.
I would rather trade Kevin Dotson and give him a shot elsewhere to start elsewhere, to potentially prove us wrong, or someone that's in a rookie contract. Let him get a chance somewhere else, a new change of scenery, I suppose, and while us getting extra capital out of it. So the last 2 weeks we've been doing the Seahawks, but this time we switched up a little bit. Steelers trade Kevin Dotson to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for the 153rd pick, which is an extra fifth-round pick. The Bucs have 2, and they trade this one to get a starting guard in the last year of his rookie contract.
Yes, and the Bucs desperately need a guard. They don't have anybody that's worth starting at the guard position for them on the team. So why not trade draft capital for a guy like Dotson, give him one more shot? It wouldn't hurt.
No, it wouldn't. And with that 153rd pick via Tampa Bay, the Pittsburgh Steelers select KARL Brooks, defensive line out of Bowling Green. This guy is a big sleeper. He is so explosive. He is so underrated. It's crazy that he wasn't even invited to the Combine.
No, he wasn't.
Might be one of the biggest Combine snubs this year. He was very productive at Bowling Green. His hands are violent. He's explosive. He's just a dominator in that interior defensive line. Now, in college, they really played him on the edge at 6'3", 300. That's freakish. And he got to the quarterback very often. He got a lot of pressures. His stats in college is very productive at major categories. And they placed him at the edge. Now, in the NFL, he might be a little too big for that. Can he play it? Sure. In our position, he's not going to be an outside linebacker. He's not going to be an edge guy.
No, so he's going to fill that. He's going to be along the defensive line.
Yes, he's going to be an interior defensive lineman alongside Hayward while also stepping in as a 5/3 tech if need be. He doesn't have a lot of experience playing the A or B gap, but the guy can definitely play it.
No, he definitely showcased that in some reps at the Senior Bowl. The guy's explosive. The guy has a lot of upside. And just like Anthony Johnson with Terrell Austin with a private workout, Carl Dunbar, defensive line coach, had a private workout with KARL Brooks.
Now, he wouldn't be a day one starter. Clearly, he'd probably come in as an initial depth piece, potentially compete with Fioku or an Armand Watts for a roster spot, initially for a spot on the depth chart. But the guy's power, his size,
and his versatility on the defensive line
is something that the Steelers are going to adore. And shout out to Andy Waddle because his track record shows he can find a nice mid-round gem at a position like this pretty decently. And someone like him, someone like Brooks, is from a small school, but that's not going to shy the Steelers away from looking his way for sure.
No. Now, with the first 7th-round selection, the 234th pick, the Pittsburgh Steelers select Lonnie Phelps, edge out of Kansas. Now, last mock draft, we didn't go edge, and edge depth was very worrisome. It was lackluster last year when TJ Watt went down. And plus, not like it matters, but we did release Jameer Jones. So we don't really have any recognizable edge guys outside of Quincy Roche, but even he's not guaranteed.
We don't have a lot of bodies. We need potential bodies.
So a guy like Lonnie Phillips, man, I don't know if you would fall to the 7th round, because if you watch his tape, the guy just speaks explosiveness. The guy is so good when you watch his tape.
Now, a concern with him could potentially be his size. He's only 6'2", 244, so maybe he's a little undersized for his position. That might be a concern there, but his production is still very explosive. He's also a very explosive athlete.
Yes, he is.
Had a very good showing at the Combine and at his pro day, and his pass rush moves, his quickness off the snap, his strength is crazy. He's just a disruptor in the run game. He can get to the quarterback. I mean, the guy has all the traits to be a nice depth guy for the future. And I think this would be a tremendous opportunity for him because there's not a lot of bodies, and we really need that edge guy right now. Phelps could be a very nice sleeper down the road.
And finally, guys, with the second 7th round selection at 241st pick, the Pittsburgh Steelers select Jaren Hall, quarterback out of BYU.
We need a third quarterback. We only have the obvious at quarterback right now, Mitch and Kenny. Or Kenny and Mitch, in that order.
And I don't really know if they're going to sign a guy. Mason hasn't been re-signed or signed by any team yet. I don't know if there's anybody else that the Steelers would explore that option.
No.
So why not use a 7th round pick on a quarterback that could be your number 3, that could be redshirted for his rookie year, but could have the upside to develop into Kenny's backup.
And I think Jaren Hall could definitely do that, man. He had very good production at BYU, stepping in for Zach Wilson when he was drafted. Very good collegiate career, very good stats, not very turnover heavy. He's also mobile. He likes to run the ball. And I really like this guy late in the draft. I think he could develop into a nice backup. Like Rob said, start off as a number 3 redshirt and then eventually take over Mitch's role as the primary backup to Kenny Pickett. I just love this guy's arm strength. I love his accuracy. I love the zip he has. Steelers have shown interest in some late quarterbacks to come in for the number 3 spot. You know, they like to fill bodies for training camp, and just to have the 3 guys on the roster to lock that's something the Steelers always adore. They haven't done that yet, so I think one of the 7th rounders is a sweet spot to go quarterback, and with this one we go Jaren Hall. So otherwise, that'll close it for our 6th mock draft of the 2023 Steelers draft season. Let us know your guys' thoughts down below and your mocks down below. Next week, we will have our final Steelers mock draft of the 2023 Steelers draft season. And that's it. Just one more mock, and we're here for the NFL draft. It is literally a week away. We're right around the corner, folks.
A week away by the time this is uploaded, 2 weeks by the time this is recorded. But you guys already get it. You get the point. The NFL draft is almost here. I cannot wait.
I can't wait either. But, yeah, we'll be back with our final mock next week. Let us know your guys' thoughts down below. And your mocks, here we go, Steelers. See you in the next one.
And like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you later. Peace!